Hello everybody, our next camera is the Minolta Weathermatic Dual 35, also known as the 35DL. The Dual is because it has a 35mm lens, f3.5, and a 50mm lens, f5.6, that'll swap in and out with this lens selector here. The viewfinder view zooms to match the selected lens. There was an earlier version of the waterproof that took 110 film. It's from about 1980. There was a later one that was part of the Vectus series that took the APS format film. Other than selecting the lenses and a little bit that I'll get into, it's pretty much auto everything. It reads DX encoded film, but anything below 400 it sets to 100. Anything 400 and above it sets to 400. So you pretty much need to use 100 or 400 speed film. It automatically winds the film, rewinds the film, does autofocus using infrared emitter detectors for triangulation. It's a CDS cell here for doing auto exposure. Above water, it's autofocus. I have no idea how it detects it, but in the water it switches to a fixed focus camera. And for close-ups, it has an extra button here. It's a little odd because you have to hold the close-up button and then you can hit the shutter button. Fixed focus underwater for the 35mm lens is from about 4 feet to a hair under 12 feet. The 50mm lens is from 4.3 feet to 10.5 feet. And then, of course, when you use the close focus, you can get down to 1.7 feet. It uses AAA batteries or a lithium battery pack. You pretty much need to use a coin to do it. Amazingly, since this camera is almost 30 years old, the water seals are in great shape. In fact, when you seal the back, if you go to a higher altitude with a lower pressure, you need to crack the battery compartment, or else even though you release the back, it'll stay suctioned to the camera. Information on this camera on the web is a bit sparse since Konica Minolta got out of the camera business. They don't even keep PDFs of the old manuals anymore. I found a manual for it, but it didn't give the minimum aperture. They just give the 3.5, 5.6 maximums, and then no information whatsoever about the shutter. I did find one site, I'll put it down below in the description, that showed the minimum aperture as f30 and the shutter speeds from 1/40th of a second to 1/150th of a second. Seems a little bit slow, but that's all I've been able to find on this. I got a pretty complete kit. I got the nifty 2 spare rolls of film holder. These are also waterproof. Got this nice carrying case with a waist strap and this nifty underwater viewfinder. It's got frames for the 35mm lens and for the 50mm lens, and I think this center tiny circle is for when you're doing underwater close-ups. Otherwise it's just kind of a bullseye. Anyway, what's surprising about this camera is it takes fantastic pictures. I don't know anything about the lenses as far as the number of elements or their configuration, coatings, or anything like that. Funky looking as it is, I think this one's a keeper. So I'll shoot a bit more with it, and I'll see you then.